Hello everybody, the iLord Root here, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. So I guess I'm on a bit of a recording stint tonight. I can't seem to put this game down. I guess it's because I finally have enough RAM to really play it well, but I've decided that we're going to go ahead and try to do some landing on the moon. So I'm gonna do two things. I'm gonna first of all go back to our Explorer, our Sojourner 2, and I'm going to get that rocket stage out from under us. Now we do already know that we have plenty of fuel for a lander already. So what we can do is we need to come up with a name for this. How about I don't know, Tiktaalik. Why Tiktaalik? I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like a good name. So we'll just call it Tiktaalik, and we will do a new spacecraft. We'll call this maybe the Moon Explorer. There we go. And we're gonna do like what we usually do. We're gonna send this guy in to collect a little bit more science. And unfortunately there is no good stock probe for this. I guess what I'll do is I'll just do what I usually do here, and I will create this thingy here. Now we do have oh, pardon me. We do have this mobile processing lab that we'll want to use soon. Not immediately though. Immediately might be rather bad. Nonetheless, we do have an opportunity for more science. So we'll take that in. We might do something with that. Mainly what we should do is we should as usual create our our materials collection thingy. And that shouldn't be hard to do at all. What we'll do is we'll go here, we'll put down one of these large ladders. Just so we can get down from the, I guess from the thingy. I think I need to move that a bit. Let's just take that and there we go. And we will of course set this thing up so that we can really set it up for one of two things. We don't need to use this old design anymore because we have the ladder now. And because of the reach of the ladder, we actually have a lot that we can do in terms of oh, pardon me. I guess in terms of the science we can do. So One thing, of course, we will want to do is we will want to take these struts here and we're going to make ourselves some landing thingies. This landing device or whatever. And it is a little bit, you know, unsightly when we do it this way, but it'll work. The idea is basically we're giving ourselves a wide base to work with here, so let's just make sure this is properly extended. I think this will give us enough clearance. Let's just give this thing a test. In fact, we should have added some more instruments there, but we'll take, we'll take this opportunity to get something that we have not gotten yet. Oh, come on, extract that gear. There we go. We'll take this opportunity to, extend this ladder out and to see if we're able to get down. Now, of course, if we've done this correctly, we should be able to get in and out just fine. And it looks like we've done that. We'll just detach ourselves real quick and try to get back on. We'll get back in the capsule. And we will go through and we will recover the spacecraft. It didn't give us much in the way of science, but it did give us something at least. So, let's go back and, oh, pardon me. This time, we will go ahead and attach our instruments. So we should have quite a few to attach. I guess one thing we'll do here is we definitely want we want parachutes so that, you know, we won't fly off into the middle of nowhere. And we'll put down some batteries, and then of course we will add some struts to this so that we're able to prevent ourselves from flexing too much, which is a very real possibility with this lander. Another thing we need to do is we need to run fuel lines. And the question is, how do we run those while managing at the same time to hit the center here? That may be a little bit more easily said than done. Perhaps we could lower these guys just a shade. Now these guys, I reckon, are going to need parachutes too. Because if they don't have them, then these things will rip off and make it very difficult for us to land. So let's give them parachutes so that that doesn't happen. That way we can reuse this lander. Now that we have done that, we have to add our instrumentation. And that is fortunately going to be pretty easy for us to do, since we've already taken most of our goo readings. We'll just do that, and I'm gonna add here some other instruments like this thermometer and this other thing right here. Now all we'll need is really I guess these solar panels. And when we do that, we should be pretty well set. We should definitely catch the sun this way. The only other thing I want to do here is I want to add some solar panels up here so that when we land on the moon, we'll have power to get back up. So let's just do a mass test real quick. We want to know how much this vehicle mass is and if we can get above our target here. And we'll use this to see um if we can get any more science out of this. We'll grab as much science as we can get. And we'll log the pressure data. That's 3.6 science. And we'll log our temperature data too. So let's see if we could even get off the launch pad with this, because that will be important. So let's just turn on SAS. We may need a little bit more in the way of thrust here. Now granted, this is on, the moon, but this is an 8-ton vehicle, which means that if our thrust to weight ratio isn't correct, we'll bring up our resources to see. We may be burning for quite a bit just to get up off the surface. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to help us. So it might be the case that we should recover this vessel, and that we should strive to get a smaller engine. But there may be no need for that. Let's just wing it. Because worst comes to worst, we can spam science. I mean, I think we have everything we want and need for um, this mission. We'll just have to see. We may be a bit on the heavy side, but and in fact, if we are on the heavy side, we'll just have to deal with it accordingly. I mean, we do have a ton of fuel. We have, let's see. Maybe the best thing to do here is to, maybe we're taking the wrong approach, because this will bring down the mass by half. And that wouldn't be a bad idea. We just have to make sure that, our struts are going to be low enough when we do this. So let's just rerun our fuel lines real quick. And let's run us some struts as well. And since that's the case, that should have brought us down by 6 tons. Still probably heavy by our standards, but perhaps it is passable. So we'll just put down parachutes again. And we'll just do a quick test. I think that should be okay, though. If nothing else, if we can't reach the ladder, then we can probably jump. But let's try that. We won't bother collecting any data this time. Will that ladder reach? That is the question. The answer to which appears to be maybe if we jump. Otherwise, we'll be SOL. Let's go back and let us throw on I guess a rocket for ourselves. Now where is that? That's parts. We'll just put good old Tiktaalik on here. And I'm hoping that'll be enough to get us to the moon and back. Because we have one thing we don't have, it appears, is we do have our solid rocket motors, so we're actually doing pretty good. Let's see. I guess let's do a drop test. We'll get this thing into orbit real quick. And let's see what happens when we try to land it. mean, I guess in reality what we could do that's something we're actually going to have to fix. Let's 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 get this thing up and going. And while we're at it, let's take some data as well. I mean, in reality, I guess we want to head back towards the Space Center. Because we do not want to um, go into the atmosphere whatsoever. And I guess we're going to want to have our pressure and our temperature as well. Well, let's attempt to do a landing of this thing. So we are definitely good to land. Let's just get this thing on the ground, and what we'll do then is we will get out, have ourselves a little bit of an EVA. Just to, to test everything. Because if this guy cannot get down, we might be in trouble. Well, I mean, he can get down alright. The question is, can he get back up? Now, on Kerbin, probably not. Let's let go. We're no longer flying over the shores. Oh, we got a sample, it looks like, and EVA report. Not necessary. So can we get back up on this thing? It looks like we will be good for landing on the moon. At least assuming that we can get off. Unfortunately, we do not have mech jobs, so I can't tell whether or not our thrust to mass ratio is acceptable, but I would think so. So, since we did get some launch pad science, let's go ahead and put that into something because that's going to be important. And it seems like the most important thing for us to get at the moment if we want various things like docking is I think we should research this advanced construction, which will give us, specialized construction. That means that we'll be able to put a space station up into orbit, and that'll be awesome. But there will also be other things like new capsules as well, and that'll be useful for us. So I would say that's something well spent. Because docking is definitely useful if we want to really have anything to do with anything to do with I guess maybe space stations and stuff. So yeah, I guess it's time to go to the moon, and we'll pretty much go ahead and get ourselves set up for that. We are veering very slightly off of course, but it'll be okay. I mean, the main deal is we want to get ourselves up to a point to where we get the most out of this fuel. That point's going to be hitting fairly shortly. And so, if nothing else, we might see if we can't find better, you know, things to attach to these engines to maybe upgrade them a little bit. You know, I think we'll be just fine, to tell you the truth. Let's see, what is our time to apoapsis? We're 27 seconds in. So we'll be, we'll be moving over pretty soon. In fact, maybe we should do it now. I don't know if maybe, I would stand to benefit from that. However, as far as I can tell, we are, um, getting quite a bit out of the atmosphere. I guess we should check our fuel. So, yeah, it looks like we're hitting orbit fairly soon. And we'll just cut ourselves off at 80. I think 80 is a good orbit for us to achieve. So let's see. What do we have in terms of delta or of delta V for actually maintaining that orbit? 78, 81. That's good enough. It's temporarily, or temporary rather. That's a 15-second burn there. And we're, for the most part, almost ready to move forward. So I'd probably burn around maybe 7. And I think we should, once we're done with this, we should have more than enough um Delta V to go to the moon and back at this point. I mean, we took this entire stage to Minmus, so it seems to me that getting to the moon is not going to be that big of a deal on this thing. Of course, I could be wrong, but um, then again, perhaps not. Let's see. It's hard to tell, but it looks like we're giving ourselves a free return trajectory there. I don't really want to do a free return trajectory. I want to get in close to the moon and land. So our window for that is going to be very close. But I think it'll do. Let's just fast forward there. We're going to burn at maybe 31. So yeah, we'll have, as I see it, we'll have plenty of fuel left over for this maneuver. And we overshoot it very likely. We need to Well, that's an acceptable periapse, I suppose. We can always, do something about that later. However, we should be careful that we do not, overdo this on the power. Now, unfortunately for us, we're gonna have to get in pretty close. So let's, um, get this thing down to a respectable 24 kilometers, maybe. Let's even go as far down as 13. That way, all we'll have to do is kill our horizontal velocity. And that is, of course, an 18-second burn that we've got to do there. So I'm going to burn at 9. Line up just a little bit. Well, it looks like I overshot it just a bit. Uh, we'll we'll use this to go ahead and once we get to our apoapse, we'll search for a spot that interests us. Although maybe I'll just land when I see some place interesting. Is it a 15 by 7? We do want to go up very slightly. 7 is not a very nice number to hit. Maybe 12 by 15. 11 by 13. 13 by 10. Alright, that seems to be the best we'll do. So, yeah, we'll jettison this stage soon enough. And that is hardly any burn time at all. In fact, I'm thinking we just might as well kill our horizontal velocity totally. So there we go. We should have no trouble landing at this point. Let's take a report, shall we? Oh, let's not keep it. So, yeah, we're going to, I guess to very slowly get this, actually more than slowly, we sort of don't want to collide into the moon, and we do sort of run that risk right now. We do at some point, you know, we want to make sure that whatever it is we're doing, and it looks like we're heading towards that crater. That'll probably be um, where we're going to end up. Or at least we're going to be very close to that crater. Whatever the case is, we want to, I guess, push this up just a little bit. Maybe not kill our velocity too much. And we do want to make sure that by the time we get down here, is it, whoa, that is a good place for me to be. I should be up in the center. You know, we do want to make sure that our landing is smooth. And so, let's just take a look and see how much further down we have to go. According to this thing, it's going to be a bit. But we are hitting the point where we should be thinking about slowing down just a little bit. And we made it. We hit the ground really hard, but we made it. So let's go ahead and we'll take our mystery goo. We get that 40 science. And we'll do the same here as well. We will of course want to grab we'll want to grab basic things like, I guess we can't measure the we can't really measure the temperature or the pressure of the moon, because the moon of course has no atmosphere, but we can of course do temperature log, and that'll help us as well. And then we need a crew report, don't we? That's a crew report we can transmit for 20 science. And so now we've got to collect an EVA. And by the way, where are we? Let's just see that crew report again. The Moon Highlands. We will just plop down a flag. and take a core sample. So we got a EVA report, of course, surface sample, and then we'll just plant a flag here, and this is the um, first step on another world at the Moon Highlands. Oh, there we go. I think we could stay on the planet, but we've got bigger fish to fry. And so instead, what we're going to do is we're going to see how well this thing holds up in space. And so it's now time for us to um get into orbit. Now, how high of an apoapsis do we want? Well, as high as we're willing to get, really. It doesn't have to be a huge one. We just want to avoid the mountains. And that will, more or less be, our goal. Let's speed this up. In fact, let's get ourselves a little bit higher, because that may not give us much in the way of, you know, a comfort zone. And let's just get ourselves anywhere that's outside of this range. Oh, you know, in reality, we could make this burn and go to carbon. In fact, why don't we do that? Why don't we see what happens when if we end up in the atmosphere? Let's just do that. So the good news is that we have plenty of fuel to spare now. And that is of course good. We're coming in a little bit steep, but we'll just really, there's no reason to burn anymore. I just kill that maneuver node, I think. And it shouldn't take us long to reach our escape. We'll just, you know, we'll gather some interesting atmospheric data on the way in. As it appears, we'll be coming in rather hard. fact, I think I'm going to use the remaining fuel to try to slow us down just a little bit. Because we're actually moving quite ridiculously fast. And I think, once we deploy these parachutes, we'll be A-okay. Let's, in fact, go ahead, wait for this thing to land. Maybe we can take, an EVA report, or a crew report. This is a new area, it looks like, so... What I can do is I can get, the barometer reading. And we will keep that, because all science is good science. So, yeah, let's take a EVA report. It's not as precarious as you might imagine, Jeb, that situation. Let's take an EVA report now. And I think we will be good. You just want to get back on, get in our ship, wait to be rescued. So let's see what we got. We got a total of 401 science. And that is from, I guess, having a vessel in orbit of the moon, as well as one that landed on the surface of the moon. So let's see what we can spend this on. Definitely, I think we should spend this on the docking ports. Maybe also specialized control. Maybe not. That does give us, however, that does, however, give us a number of good options if we do that. We have 241, so let's go for another advanced technology. Maybe, the solar panels. Aerodynamics would be nice, but we can't afford it. However, we will be able to grab another instrument pretty soon. So, we'll just leave that there, and we'll take one more side trip to Minmus. And I'm thinking, we might want we might want an extra stage here. Then again, we might not. I mean, we do have quite a bit of Delta V. I think more than we might realize. Let's just um check and see. Because I think we can get to Minmus on this. It doesn't take much to get to Minmus. We'll just have to get ourselves into orbit. And I think, really once we get to Minmus, we'll have a ton of science and we can start thinking about putting a space station up into orbit. Or maybe some kind of interplanetary ship. Something that, wouldn't really require that much, um, in the way of, Delta V. What we want to do definitely is we will want to take an upper atmosphere sample. And so we will be ready soon to collect that sample. And before too long, we'll we'll have enough science to maybe entertain a space station, which would definitely be nice. Or we could do something different. Maybe we could do maybe we could do a other thing. Let's see if we can get our apoapsis at a decent place. Now this is getting a little bit too shallow for my tastes. And we will of course cut off around 80 or so. 80 is a pretty good place to cut off. And so we actually have a pretty decent orbit going. We'll just we'll take this thing. We'll in fact, that's actually good enough for me. And that's hardly going to be any burn time at all. So now that we're in position, let's time warp to our new burn point. And we'll burn at 7, I think. I think 7 is the best place to burn here. And that should not take us too long, I don't think. So we have 81 versus 78. We could do better, but then again, we could do worse. Let's see, that's Ike, Tylo. And it looks like I am going to have to dig out my mouse again so that I can zoom out. I really should get a different keyboard. And we'll set this guy as the target. And let's just correct for this I guess difference here. Point 5, point 3, point 2. I think that'll be good enough. Let's just get into position. We should be pretty close. I think again I will burn at maybe 7. The number seems to be popping up a lot lately. What is our current descending node? 0.2. Now it is time to try to match phases with this thing. And that would probably not work so well for us. I think we've slightly overshot. I think that will give us a free return trajectory, which we don't really want. And we'll get there in about a day and 13 hours. Is there a way we can change that? Well, it's time to prepare for our burn. And we will save just in case this goes wrong. I'm still fairly new at Minmus. It looks like we'll burn it 32 seconds. So we're about to head up on that right now. And when we hit it, we'll of course be on our way to a stable orbit around Minmus again. Now just to make sure, I want to make sure we got that barometer reading, because we forgot to get it last time. I guess we'll have to get it on the way back in. See, how close are we? We still have quite a bit of burning to do. There we go. I don't think we're going to be able to do much better than that. So, yeah, let's wait for this guy to meet up. And we will just go ahead. We'll capture ourselves around Minmus. Maybe not 97. 97 seems to be a bit much. 44 may be better. And you know what? While we're at it, we'll do 20 just for good measure. So now we'll have to find the point for us to burn. And that I reckon will be pretty soon. Although I do not see it. There we go. So, we're still pulling in power from the sun. Let us wait for, wow, we nearly overshot that. I guess it probably wouldn't have been unrecoverable if we had, but we do want to be careful. But we're gonna burn at maybe 31, or we'll overshoot it by a little bit. But that's okay. I think we're almost in the orbit we want. There we go. Oh, let's zoom in real quick. We'll see if maybe we can't, while we're on the dark side of the moon, see if we can't find, a place that is significantly lower. I mean, we have so much in the way of, Delta V to burn anyway, that we might as well, especially since we're not taking the stage back with us, so it's, within our best interest to try to, do as well as we can here. And so we'll wait until we're about maybe 30 seconds away from the burn point, or we'll do it now. Let's see, what is my periapsis? I'll just lower that very slightly. Maybe to 10. Now the idea is we're supposed to be looking for these lakes that we can land in. And the lakes will pretty much give us. I'm not going to say risk-free. There really is no such thing in Kerbal Space Program, but it will give us something with acceptable risk. And if we see one of those, we'll want to definitely we definitely will want to try to land in them. When you can't really see it just quite yet, but one of them I'm hoping should be coming up pretty soon. And if it does come up, I'm just going to... Oh, yeah, there's one right there. I just couldn't see it. I think I can actually get there if I'm careful. I'll just need to be incredibly careful and try to get down as easily as possible. There we go. Now let's do a couple of things. Let me see if I can utilize still here to let's see, where's the deal here? I think at this point it's wise to go ahead and jettison this. And we'll go ahead and land this as needed. So it's probably time for us to start doing what we can to bring this down just a little bit. Because we are running into this issue to where if we're not careful, we will indeed let me just push that up a little bit. We will indeed move around on the surface, and we'll also crash into it. With that having been said, I believe it would be in my best interest if I were to go ahead and get this thing down as quickly as possible, because our shadow should be coming pretty soon. I mean, look at that. We have a ton of resources on this thing. You could almost just fly the lander out here. There we go. That is, a fairly, in my opinion, flawless landing. Let's see what we can get here. We definitely want to observe this materials bay. I guess it looks like a mint desert to these Kerbals. We'll grab some mystery goo, which is worth 50. We definitely want this here. And we'll take a crew report. It's the Great Flats is the name of that, apparently. And we'll just let go. There's no reason not to. I mean, it's... Well, I guess except for the fact that I might want to extend that ladder. I forgot to do that one time. It wasn't pretty. We'll take a surface sample, of course. And, wow, that's 150 science. Plus 40 science from the EVA report. We need to, we need to plant our flag. Let's see. Where we have this, we'll just go here. Great Flats. First Minmus landing. Okay, so technically, well, we could just jump up there, but I'm not so good with the whole jumping thing. We may have to, though. It's looks like it's going to be rather difficult to... The gravity, it seems, is so low that the flag, or that the ladder, is not something I'm going to be able to reach. So I could reach it on the moon, it looks like, but I wonder if I can take a... No, don't overwrite the EVA report. There we go. That will... Let's see, we can review the report here. Review stored data, EVA report, surface sample. Review report, there we go. I think we should go ahead and transmit this as soon as possible. And then we will go ahead and get ourselves into orbit of Minmus. Okay, that's definitely a little bit more than I figured it would be. We should really think about getting back to Kerbin at this point, but what we'll do is we'll fast forward. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to grab one critical piece of information. I forgot to grab my temperature data, which maybe I can still grab. I'm hoping so, at least. There we go. Well, it looks like in the interim, we're on our way to, back home. And really, I'm sure it doesn't matter at this point how close I am. I'm sure I will be close enough to, make a difference. And the main thing is we want to, we want to come back and, oh, well, we don't want to do that. That would be inadvisable. Let's just see if we can bring this thing in. Oh, don't delete that. It's 82 million miles. That is not quite what I had in mind. That's her apoapsis. What's her periapsis? And where are we going to come out at anyhow? I mean, I guess that'll have to do. It's not the best, but I mean, whatever. We have plenty of fuel to get home. Let's just see if, there we go. Let's just see where we come out at. We have to come out at somewhere. It's looking like we're coming out at our periapsis. I think we can definitely lower this, I think, using the Oberth effects. Oh, where is my dude? Is he in... Oh, he's in another Minmus encounter. I think it's time to continue my dirty work. I think that'll be a shallow enough orbit. It'll take another 2 days or so, but I think pretty soon we'll have reached our destination. We should be pretty close, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll aero brake for a bit and use the remaining fuel to get us down into a acceptable orbit, or an acceptable landing spot rather, because we're not really going to be in much of an orbit after this. I'm gonna wait until I get to land, because land would be nice to land in. I don't think I'm going to get land to land in, but actually I think I may land very close to KSC, which would be rather interesting, because that would not have been my intention. We'll go ahead. We'll cut down our surface velocity here. And can we make this go up some? Yeah, there's KSC. It's rather unintentional, but I'll take it. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and deploy my chutes here. So, I mean, we're getting pretty close to getting pretty close to landing spot. Oh, they must have fixed the bug that causes the chutes to rip off. Usually, if you do this while you're under time acceleration, your chutes will rip off. Let's see if there is any data to be collected. We can get a crew report, perhaps. Nope. Looks like we're just going to go ahead and do our thing here and recover our vessel. But yeah, it's rather nice. We have 552 science, which is excellent. And so let's just see what we might want. Now there is advanced construction that gives us several different things. I think, this guy over here may be worth looking at, but the heavy rocketry is something we could use because we might be able to send a probe to Minmus if we're lucky. So we have various things we can look at. I think definitely I want to grab this advanced flight control for maybe something else that we might want. And that is at least a precise engineering. We could possibly do, let's see, what do we have? Large electronics. That gives us a large battery. However, this gives us another experiment. This gives us 2. That's 300 science. And I think we could do some more missions to make up for that. Because now we have a lander that can, land in various places. And not only that, but we also could do airplanes as well. Let's see. I think that we could do a lot of different things. We could start making larger rockets for sure. And if we get specialized control, then our next mission we can do nuclear rockets. So that leaves a lot for us to do and a lot to consider. Until then, this has been Thy Lord Root.